and welcome to On Day News. We are going to start the information. In recent decades, China has strived to create an international image that allows it to enter the community of developed countries. However, a complex situation of human rights violations in its territory complicates its aspirations to be a social model among nations. Xinjiang is a large region in the northeast of this country. For years, human rights associations have denounced that there is a persecution against Uyghurs, a Muslim ethnic group. The Chinese government has several concentration camps in the area for these people, where they are tortured, subject to forced labor, and victims of human rights violations. The Chinese government always denied the existence of these camps, but in 2019, evidence of the persecution against more than 1 million Uyghurs came to light. For these complaints, which include the United Nations, the Chinese authorities explained that they are vocational education centers created to eliminate extremist thoughts. Countries like the United States have denounced these acts and trying to put sanctions against China, but it seems that nothing is stopping the Asian giant. It's that the international community, that's why the international community and especially the Uyghurs are concerned about what lies ahead. We have more information with Daniela Saavedra, who is in China, to explain the situation in depth.
Good afternoon, Miguel. Yes, I am actually in the Chinese capital, Beijing. I am here to speak with Miley Chains. She is the one of the leading expert on Chinese politics in Xinjiang and a member of the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation. Before contact, she told them that the wave of arrests of Muslims started in 2016. At that time, a school and other public buildings were turned into makeshift a detention center. But this system quickly evolved into a sophisticated network of prisons that spanned almost the entire Xinjiang region. From the built enclosure in 2016 and through August, a study identified 216A facilities, or rather 216A concentration camps. With this data, it is estimated there were more than 1 million detainees simultaneous. For more information, we first say hello to Marilyn and thanks you for agreeing to this conversation and ask, who are these Uyghurs? Could you tell us about this affected ethnic group?
The Uyghurs are Muslim and see themselves as ethnicity and culture closer to the nations of Central Asia than to China. They live mainly in Xinjiang. For centuries, Xinjiang's economy has revolved around agriculture and trade. Towns in the region, such as Kashgar, became commercial centers on the famous Silk Road. And in the early 1900s, the Uyghurs declared an independence that turned out to be short-lived as the area came under the complete control of Communist China in 1949.
And since the communist ideology ruled China, what are the factors to stop the Uyghurs?
Well, important factors in deciding whether to arrest someone are travel abroad, obtaining a passport, installations of foreign software, visit to certain foreign online sites. Among the activities that were monitored were praying, attending a mosque, wearing a beard, wearing a veil, and having more children than allowed. Family members of detainees tend to be more closely watched and detained. The authorities assess whether the family have more dense religious atmospheres or not and record how many relatives each detained has in a center.
Thanks you very much for replying to my link. Now we will reproduce a testimony sent by Abir, a young woman who was in the concentration camps. We greatly appreciate her words.
Hello everyone, my name is Abir, and yes, I remember all. They took blood and urine samples from me. Then they sent to me a re-educational camp in India. And the first thing I saw was terrible, a 6 by 6 square meter cell, and there were more than a dozen prisoners. Also, I remember that through a megaphone, they called us for interrogations and for us to confess crimes that we never commit. It was terrible. Every second I spent there was a hell. They beat me and made me use a chains. They tied my hands and my feet. In fact, I lost consciousness on several occasions. It's the worst I ever experienced. I never forget the torture. There's not a day that I don't think about the screaming, the rapes of the guards, and many other things. It's terrible. No, it's terrible.
Thanks, Daniela. We hope situations like that never happen again. We're going to stop and we will return it on the news.